Good evening, Brian. It's Monday. In the past, we've mentioned how the art assignment is really cool, and one of the things that I did over the beach trip was during one of the days I tried to find the quietest place I could and took a video. One of the things that's one of the assignments from the art assignment is to go out and try to find the quietest place you can go. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but the beach is really loud. The beach, there's always the sound of the wind and the ocean crashing and people, and it's a very noisy place. And so I tried to find quiet time, and this is the video I got. So I just thought that was interesting, and I think there's something to trying to find quiet places and recording them. In the next few weeks or the next few videos I make, I want to try and focus more on some of the things that the art assignment videos have made me think about and aware of. And I have a couple ideas of things I want to do related to that, but finding a quiet place like that was one of them. So I'll talk more about that in a future video, but I just wanted to include that little clip from the beach here now. And so speaking of the beach, as you know, I was at the beach last week and it was a lot of fun, and I actually have a couple clips of videos that I wanted to show you about my time at the beach. So here I am, Brian, at the Wright Brothers Memorial Museum. I think you went here when you were at the beach as well. From the outside and the inside, it's a very nondescript government building. It seems old and just not super exciting and remarkable, but the story it tells and the information it contains is truly remarkable. As you know, Orville and Wilbur Wright took their first flights right here. You can see these stone markers commemorating the distances of their first 3 flights, and then way further down the field, this little tiny speck of gray rock in the corner that just now came into view is where the 4th flight landed, over 800, almost 900 feet from where they started. This spot here commemorates where they started, where their first flights lifted off from the ground, where they first took off and actually set the record and made history with the first motorized or powered manned flight. This is a view from the 4th landing location, looking all the way back towards that first one. You can see the little rock there. But being at this place and seeing this museum and learning about their story was just remarkable. I was never a kid that was super into model planes or into planes in general, but just being here and learning about all of the ingenuity and thinking and creativity and physics and engineering and figuring things out that went into making this work was just really, really cool. And this was one of my favorite parts of the trip, just learning about how this happened in this story. It was especially fitting that we were staying so close to where the Wright brothers first took off and had flight, considering that while we were at the beach, we also got to see a rocket lift off. This little orange speck in the middle of your screen, Brian, is actually an Antares rocket lifting off from Wallops Island, Virginia. It's an unmanned craft, and it's carrying a Cygnus capsule at the top of it that has over 5,000 pounds or tons of supplies for the International Space Station, food and other things. It's a pretty unremarkable video, but it was an unbelievable experience to get to see in real life, to actually be able to see a spaceship taking off and traveling out into low Earth orbit to the ISS. It's just amazing to think that just over 100 years ago, we were barely getting off the ground with flight, and 800 feet was such a long distance for them to have flown. And now, just over 100 years later, we have basically a permanent encampment in a station in low Earth orbit, and we send unmanned rockets to deliver stuff to it. I just thought that was really interesting, Brian, and I hope you thought so too. Have a good night, and I look forward to seeing your video tomorrow.